Greetings and welcome back to smartwatchtics.com. We have the ZEBLAZE GT Round 3, the third in their series, Pro version of it. Yeah, I know there's a lot to depack there, isn't there? We have inside here really beautiful watch. This is a easy to use consumer dress watch that has great battery life. This one's the gold one, and look at the edge on that. We can take off the cover here, and there's a little cover on the back we can pull off. But just examine this. One button, there's a little microphone. Sure, it does Bluetooth calling. Speaker here, charging port. Just a beautiful, lightweight little module. We'll get into it in a minute, and the unboxing after I let you know where you can pick it up. Right now, as you're watching this, well, as I'm recording this, it's in flash sale over at Banggood for $30. Beautiful and decent price for this one. It may be a little bit more depending on when you're watching this, so check the show notes, use the link we've got, and hopefully I'll have a coupon discount to meet or beat that price for you. In addition to Banggood, of course, ZEBLAZE has their original store over on AliExpress. Now, it's priced a little higher here, but of course, we always have coupons for you that can bring that price down. So your choice, check it out, see which one you like and which place you'd like to get it. In terms of what the specs have to show on this one, it's a 1.43-inch Ultra HD AMOLED. That means the resolution 466 squared. Really, really sharp. It's got 316L stainless steel body, all for $30. Fitness, wellness, overall smartwatch. Using Bluetooth 5.2 and the different versions of OSs that you can pair it with. Full touch operation, FitCloud Pro. We've reviewed that a lot. We'll take a quick look at it again today. That's the Tethering app. Here are the languages it pairs with, or it supports. And then we've got these special features. Voice calling, voice assistant, that's your Google or Siri. Basic contacts, recent calls, the different health parameters, your heart rate, blood oxygen, blood pressure, and breath training. Does support women's health. You've got the exercise activities available. The records that you've got there, you can flip it over. Yes, for those of you wanting to know, I am conserving paper. I only used one sheet for this. We have all these different features. Basically, simple stuff that you see on most smartwatches. It is waterproof to IP68. However, swimming and showering are not supported. Therefore, it's not IP68, guys. Read the spec. That's supposed to be underwater for like forever. Anyway, just splash proof. They sometimes call that lifestyle waterproof or something. I wouldn't really go swimming with it, especially since they have it in big red here. The different sensors on here, again, the specs on the screen, so forth. The battery, 14 days, typical usage, 7 days, heavy usage. It does support Bluetooth calling and music streaming, an hour and a half or so to charge it. Here's the materials and the overall size. I know you want to see more, so let's open the box. We got a couple of little bags in here and a very simple manual. Open the manual. You really only have the introductory page, tells you how to turn it on. The QR code you can scan, but again, we have the link to FitCloud Pro in the show notes, so click on that to get over there, or just enter FitCloud Pro in the Play Store rather than using the QR code on all of these. Some basic information, a little bit more, some of the specs and features on this one, and that's it. The rest of the manual is different languages. In the bags, you have the charging wire, which is a standard 2-pin magnetic couple, attaches to the base only in one direction. Of course, it's going to be strong enough to support the watch, even though we don't have the bands on it yet. USB connector on that end, very easy. And then, I like these. I've already had this out, of course, and played with it. Got some data to show you too. But check out, in particular for the gold one, these bands. That's a really unique design. It catches the light. It gives you a very interesting effect. Lots of holes from beginning to end. It'll fit anybody's wrist. Attention to detail with the gold buckle on this one. Attaches, of course, with the quick disconnect, and it looks like this when you're ready to go. Ta-da! Okay, now we have one button on the right-hand side. Press and hold it. Give it a couple of moments for it to fire up, and it'll begin with the opening logo screen for ZEBLAZE. Once it's loaded that, it pops into an opening watch face. Now, the one you're looking at is one of my favorites, and I downloaded this from the app, which you'll see later on where those are. Nice digital, analog, temperature, time, power, you name it, it's all on here. When you slide down, you get all kinds of controls, including your overall brightness, and we're in about the middle on this AMOLED screen. Look how sharp the blacks are. We can turn it all the way up, and the blacks are still black. That's because AMOLED is individual pixels for each area, and they're controlled separately. So black is really black. There's no big light behind it going through to illuminate the whole thing. You can tell an AMOLED, a little secret, you turn it sideways, and if it's illuminated from behind, it's an IPS or TFT or LSD or LCD. That's the one. Sorry, wrong videos. You'll see the light coming through, but when it's true AMOLED like this, it's great, just solid blacks. You can get it down nice and low like that for nighttime viewing as well. Going to leave it right there because that makes the colors match up nicely here for the video. You see the blue is lit. That's for phone calling, Bluetooth connection. We've got it connected to the phone, to the app. You usually have two connections, one to the app for the data and a second one like Bluetooth headphones for doing your calling and everything. There, I wanted it to time out. It's on about a 10-second timeout to show you this really nice. This is one of the two always-on screens that I've got set up, and I love this digital one. It's thin pencil-like. It's got the date, it's got the power level, and it's got the time. In 12 or 24 hour, you choose it. And that's it. And it's nice. And, of course, you get really long battery life on these. When you twist your wrist, you come back here. If you don't like that particular watch face, not a problem. We can press and hold. Switch to some other ones. Here's another really nice digital face. Tap it again, he says, and it'll come back. If you want really bright, easy to see outdoors, you got this kind of a nice contrast here. Temperature, time, step count, some basic information. If you're into the analog side of things, we can flip over to here. I'm not going to open all of them, but you can see you've got a nice one with hands and data. Here's a gold one. We'll come back to that one because it fits this watch really nice. And then here's the specialty one that you can change anytime you want to, the custom face. So look at that. Nice, huh? Now, it is much broader than what the wheel looks like. This particular watch face is kind of condensed in there, as you can see when we get into other parts of it. There's messages. We were looking up here originally. You've got Do Not Disturb. There's your battery power. Here's flashlight. Come on here. There. Now you see more or less the edge to edge. It's not flickering like you see on the screen. In fact, it's full brightness. And if you notice the background, you see how it forces the camera to stop down a few f-stops. It's so bright. So it could easily be used to unlock your door. Look at that. I can actually see the flashlight. Very, very nice. Again, benefit of an AMOLED screen. Information tells you it's the GTR 3 Pro and some other stuff you may need to know. This puppy here is finding your phone. And it found it. Because it's right here. We're going to play some music through the watch for you in a little bit. We got settings then. This is where we get into much more detail. Menu settings are the styles. I have it in text style. You have 3, 4 different styles. The bubble kind and a couple of others. I don't go big into that because it takes a while to get through all that. Display. The watch faces you've already seen, brightness you've seen. Now here's where you can set the actual screen time, how long it'll be on when you're using it, from as little as 5 seconds to as much as 30 seconds. We'll set it for that. Raise to wake, that's when you twist your wrist to see the time. How long do you want it on? Just briefly? Sure, you can set it down as low as 2 seconds or all the way up to 6 seconds. I usually keep them on the highest on both of them because it's got great battery life as it is. Here's the always on screen. You can turn that off, and then when the watch turns off, it'll stay black. Or You can have it to a digital clock or an analog clock. And sometime during this video, we'll show you the analog always on screen. And that's it for display. Your battery is basically telling you your current level, and you can go into a battery savings mode. By the way, it does it like about every 10%. It's not like giving you individual battery level, so you kind of monitor that as you go along. Vibration and ring, you have the different modes, and intensity. I've got it set on soft. You can have it off or strong if you want to. Then you've got your languages. We already took a look at those, but just quickly, you can see for sure if your language is here directly on the watch. Sometimes the specs don't match up perfectly. Not a whole lot of them, but a few. We're set for English. This is the QR code you scan to download the app. And again, it's in the show notes to go to the Google Play Store to pick up the app, FitCloud Pro. You can actually set the time if you want to in 12 or 24-hour format and set time and date. But it picks that up from the phone automatically once you tether to it. System info we showed you, shutdown, restart, and reset wipes the whole everything off of the watch so you can give it away when you're going to get your next ZEBLAZE, right? After all, there's a 4 coming up someday. This is in number 3 right here. That's all the settings we got to all of this stuff from simply swiping up. Yeah. Swiping down was messages. Swipe to the right gets our app drawer. We'll go through all those individually, and swiping to the left shows you your step count, distance traveled, and calories burned. And you saw the little down arrow, a bigger breakout against your goals, and a chart showing you your steps during the day for each hour, and the last 7 days of steps, my goodness, with an average here, okay? So I've wondered a couple of days. I don't have a lot of data on this. I never can because I've always got a new watch I got to get ready for. Here's heart rate. This is about the time I probably should be putting this puppy on. Oh, look at that. I got the bands backwards. Sorry, guy. You know, we're supposed to have this on the top. So let me switch that around. There, that's better. Okay, yeah, this is another watch. Last night I wore 2 watches because I wanted to get sleep data to do these reviews back to back. So that's why you see this little impression here. This is what the band looks like on. It's doing its thing right now, giving me a heart rate reading using the green diodes for heart rate. We'll get the high and the low, and when you come down here, it'll show you what zone you're in, your 24-hour heart rate as it chugs along throughout the day, and the average heart rate as well. So that is happening. It just vibrated and gave me the actual discrete readings. You have discrete and continuous on this. Here's last night's sleep time. Total, breakdown, light and deep. Here's the breakdown over the last 7 days of sleep data. Then here's weather in my area, temperature. Now all this is derived from the phone. There's no actual thermometer measuring it in the watch. This is the weather conditions, and that's all we see of the weather for there. And then we've got the music player, which is where we have fun because it's here that I can play some music through the speaker. You ready? I'll let the watch time out for us so we can see what the analog always on display looks like. It's nice too. You got the time, the date, the power level, everything you need. Little turn of the wrist, you're back into the current watch face. We were playing with music, and here we go. Got some queued up here, and we're listening to it right now through the watch. You hear it? Coming out through the speaker right here. I can cover the speaker and mute it instantly if I wanted to. It's nice and loud, and it's rich. Listen to the tone. Now, it looks like this thing should turn, doesn't it? And that would be so cool if you could, like, move through your apps and everything. But it doesn't. But anybody looking at you is going to think, wow, that's like one of them Galaxy watches, only better. Ooh, I love it. All right, you can pause, you can move forward or backward, change your volume, everything on the music player. Nice. Okay, Then, one more swipe, you get your activity levels, walking, running, hiking. There's no GPS directly in this watch, so you basically have these different activities that you can do. One more swipe, and you can actually come in here and change the data around or remove some of these. If you're not going to use the music player, you could take it off, whatever you'd like. One button comes back to the watch face. We've seen everything, except everything. Here's your telephone, contacts, call records, voice assistant. All that's tied in with the speaker and the microphone. You've heard the speaker, so you basically know how loud that will be. Your workouts we looked at, the records, the heart rate, sleep time. You haven't seen blood pressure because that wasn't one of the cards. When you come in here, it's going to give you your systolic, diastolic reading, high and low if you've taken them. I have not taken it yet through the day, so it doesn't have any readings. But it does show you your last 7 readings on here, so you can kind of compare them over time. It's showing you the range that you want to look for. And it takes it a little while to do it. It's, again, using green diodes. You can see them underneath there. All right, I've messed with it so much, it's not probably going to give us a reading, but you'll see it. It's just basically the data coming out there. Now we're in blood oxygen. Works very similar, except it uses red diode technology for higher accuracy. We get the high and the low here, the current reading there, where you are in the range, and you do want to be in the 90s, guys, definitely at least, and then your last 7 days reading in average would show up right there. This is getting a reading quicker as it settles down, and then of course once it vibrates and stops, it'll show you the other 2 numbers there, and that comes from blood oxygen. Messages we saw, weather you've seen. Ladies, this is your female tracking information. Once you set it up in the phone, it'll show you where you are in your cycle. The music player, there's a little breath training thing, 1 or 2 minutes, inhale, exhale, relax. You've got a stopwatch. We always do this little quick test to see if it runs in the background. Can you get out of it? No, we can't. If I hit the button, it stops it or pauses it. If I leave it and I come back into it, stopwatch, it's where it was, but it wasn't running. And when it's running, you can't get out of it. So it doesn't run in the background, but if you're doing something and you want to take a pause and leave this for some reason, you can come back in and pick up where you left off, and that's pretty cool. This gives you lap times, of course, and you can see those lap times, I guess, when you're done. There you go. So simple stopwatch, but it's functional. You got countdown timers, alarm clocks. You can do the business card exchange thing if you've got that with NFC. Set the time, find your phone. Got a simple calculator in here. It's got nice big digits to it. You've got the remote camera control and your overall settings, which we already saw. So, all in all, a really nice watch with all these features. Now let's take a look at the app. In the Google Play Store, FitCloud Pro has an icon looks like this. When you get to it, you install it, you open it, you can set up an account, you can link your watch to it. All that stuff's pretty simple to figure out, and it'll land you in this opening page. After it synchronizes with the watch to transfer any of your data, this is what you'll get. You get your overall step count with a wheel against your goal, your calories burned, distance traveled, what your total goal is. When you tap it, you see your daily step count against the chart and some other information in here, basic stuff, kind of covers the chart and makes it disappear. Little sweet implementation there. You've got last night's sleep time. Now it's got a gray and white picture in here, not the pretty color kind, but it's got the basic information. When you tap on it, you can tell by the color it's light sleep. You can tell up here the range of time. I was awake between midnight, just before midnight, and a little bit after midnight. So you've got all that. Then you got the summary down here of last night's total sleep, deep, light, and awake. It's not tracking REM sleep for you. It's not the advanced scientific tracking for that. This is more of a basic dress watch that you're getting into. Blood pressure, you could take a reading right here remotely if you want to, or you can look at any of the reading of the day because it's doing continuous blood pressure monitoring. Here's today's, and high, average, and low. It's showing quite a bit of a range. Now, I don't have any idea about accuracy of this. I have not tested against a calibrated cuff. That's something each of us need to do for ourselves. My body's different. My skin type is different. My age, my physiology. It's really for biometrics, you got to check yourself, but do check before you start trusting the data on any of these things. Heart rate, whoops, sorry, that was blood pressure. Heart rate, I guess I skipped over. We get in here, you got your current heart rate, you could start it, and the same kind of thing here. You're getting a chart that shows you day by day what your heart rate looked like, high, low, and average. It's kind of weird. I usually like high on the right, but they've got it backwards. And it shows you your normal range. Again, check that with one of those finger type testers or whatever else you got that you trust. And then blood oxygen. This one again, you can start taking individual one, and I don't have any data here because this is not doing it continuously. At least I don't have that switched on. So you'd only see the individual readings and the intervals that are listed there as well. And that's pretty much it. Hit health measurement. It'll do a sudden synopsis of all of it, but I don't think it enters it all into the data. It just gives you a simple reading, and I've done that before. And that's what we got on that. So this is where you have your ability to start a workout exercise, walking, running, or hiking, that'll tie the GPS of the phone into the watch so you can get a track record that you can follow. Because this doesn't have GPS in it, and it's very inexpensive and lightweight because of that. But you still can do that if you take your phone with you. Here's the device, GTR 3 Pro connected. You can disconnect it if you want to from here. You can set up your business cards for any of these social media things. They haven't updated Twitter yet, as you can see. You got push notifications that you can send information to your watch of any of the apps you have on your phone you want to do that. Here's activity reminders, drinking water. Here's the dial library. Here's where you have access to the dial center. And these are all the different dials, analog, digital, you name it, that you can move over to My Dial. And in My Dial, you see the ones that you can install, so you don't have to download them again. I tried both of those. This is the one I was showing you that's on there right now. But you have a really nice library and lots of different colors. I noticed the watches that are AMOLED tend to have these vibrant and unusual colors because they show up really, really well. And they know that. So they give you great watch faces. So if you see any you like, then you might just buy the watch for the watch face at the price level that they're offering you. That's a pretty fun one. Kind of looks like it would go well with the overall gold appearance of this particular version. Then you got Sports Push. These are the different activities that you can do. You saw a short list on here when we went through it, but you have all these different categories, and in each of the categories, you have all these different activities. Now, I got a bit of a conflict, and I can't tell you how to resolve it. It says it's supporting swimming. You push that to the watch, you'd have swimming as an activity. But it clearly said in the specs, not for swimming. But it says it's IP68. So something's amiss. I would err on the side of caution and not get it wet, at least not swimming wet. But nonetheless, it appears that it supports that through the app. There are other watches. They all use this particular app. And they do support swimming, so it might just be because of that. They didn't eliminate the ability to have it connected, even though you're not supposed to swim with it. Weather reports you can turn on or off. Twist your wrist to see the time is enabled. You can set elevated heart rate measurements, and it'll notify you if your heart rate's above a threshold. Here's the automatic health monitor, which we have enabled. You can set it for a specific time. It'll do your blood pressure and heart rate monitoring continuously. Left or right-handed, your 12 or 24 hours, shake for photograph and basic stuff. And then finally you register and set up your account. You got all your basic information. I tend to register as female, so if it supports physiology tracking, it'll show that. Sometimes if you register male, you won't get that option because, guys, we just don't have that privilege. You got private reference mode for setting up your blood pressure, or your blood pressure, systolic and diastolic, if they're different than your standard 120/80 type reading. And then your measurements will be more calibrated to what you typically have for your blood pressure. It makes it a little bit more accurate for you. But do check to make sure it's working, okay? That's about it with the app. Let's summarize. We're looking at another fine smartwatch from ZEBLAZE. This one is a third generation of the GTR series, and it's lightweight, very, very well designed, solid materials, AMOLED screen, lots of different options, digital, analog, and your basic functions for health and for fitness. Nice one. I like it. It can be acquired from Banggood. If you like this one, you want to spend about $30 or so, check it out, the GTR 3 Pro through Banggood. Link in the show notes to click over there and put this in your cart. If you prefer, you can pick it up directly from ZEBLAZE's official store on AliExpress. And right now it's listed a little bit higher, but again, check to see if there's a coupon discount because they're always changing. That's true of all these reviews. Whatever you see, whatever you like, you know, these come out over time. Sometimes you're watching this, it's a year-old review already, but always check the link that I've got for you. Click over there. It'll show you the current price and any coupons available, and always check to see if I've got special coupons to get your price down even lower. That's it for today. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll definitely see you again soon.